Hello and welcome. Today we'll be continuing work on our large-scale Revell Messerschmitt BF 110G in 132 scale. So let's get started. And we're back with the big girl. Here she is. So really, since the last time, all we've done is I let this dry overnight because this was rattle can primer, and we did the highlights just now, and those are dry. They've been dry for about an hour or so. So all we've done is gone along and done some pre-highlighting, some pre-fading along the panels so that we can sort of break them up a bit. There aren't recessed panels on this kit. This kit hails back to 1973. I think me and the Busy Builder earlier today sort of figured out. Looking through all the old iterations, I forget who it was that made it. It wasn't this one. So we got a little bit of tape lift there. I better burnish that back down. I think we're okay though. Yeah, we look okay. But yeah, back to 1973, and that seems about right. I've looked at other kits from that era, and that's about probably, I think, the era where the Spitfire goes back to as well that I've built. So, without that, it's kind of nice to get that sort of modulation in the color once we get going on top. Now, for the color on top, we are going to shoot for the RLM 75 for the top and the RLM 76 for the bottom. So it gives us our mix ratios there, and that brings us to our current state, which is we stuck to our ratio here, and we use the gray and the blue here, and it was still a bit gray, so I took some actual blue and I just added maybe 4, maybe 5 brush loads to what we got, and it definitely got it into more of the color that I want to go with, which is this sort of really deep sort of grayish sort of blue, and I think it's going to work well. So I just want to thin this out a little bit. It's a little bit thick, I think, for me to spray. So without further ado, I did, since last time too, I polished that down, so that's a little bit better. We gave that a better sand. It's probably not perfect, but it's better than it was. And I can't see putting it off any longer. We are ready to go. We've got our bottom coat is dry and done, and that's looking mean, I think. I love that color. And so yeah, we're just basically gonna get back to our paint scheme and get at her, pitter patter. So here we go. Give me a second to get this thinned out a bit, get the airbrush loaded, and we'll come back. And I think for this first part of this episode, we're just gonna sort of hang out together while I paint this out, and we'll go through the whole process. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. I really am hoping for the best. So far, we've been very fortunate with this build. We really are enjoying it. I can't say enough about getting back into some of these old kits. I think this one we determined, I was hanging out with the Busy Builder today, and I think it's 1973 where the original molds of this kit came out. I forget who it was who released it, but yeah, it's an old one. But nonetheless, look at it. It's awesome. Like, this is a great representation of this airplane so far. And I mean, I think we're hopefully over the humps. So yeah, without further ado, let me get the gun loaded and we'll start shooting. All right, we are loaded and we're ready. So our inspiration is this paint scheme here that we came across in our book, and really liked it. Thought it was it's appropriate. It is a 110G, so night fighter, and that's what we are really going to shoot for. So it looks like it's dark on the top, and that's where we're going to start. So I think I'm going to start here on the tail, just to get right at the max here, so I can push up a little bit. I think I'm going to start on the tail, and we'll just see how this color is starting to look. And we want to do the insides because this side of these is light, as I think, pretty sure. Let's go back to see. Yeah, so the sides of the fins are on the tail are light, and we are gonna go for that. So here we go. I'm just gonna start laying on a thin coat, and I want most of what we've left underneath to sort of bleed through, but I definitely want this dark color to start to dominate the overall look. So we're just gonna go nice and slow. Just sort of get an even start on the tone that we're going to be overall. Because I'm a history nut. I love history, and I do realize that during the war, I mean, unless you had a chip from the factory, it's kind of hard to tell. But I know that during the war, consistent paints were not available readily. I'm just going to shoot the side of this fin here. And I'm just going to turn it around and shoot this other side just here. Just going to get a bit of that color going. I want some of that highlight at the top. Still bleed through. There we go. Okay, now I guess I can start to work my way up this spine. So we'll come up here now. I'm just going to sort of concentrate on that very top part where that seam was, and just sort of try to hide it as best as I can. Well, it looks like we're doing pretty good, eh? Not bad. I mean, it was a little bit rough last time, so if I can just sort of blend that right in, and then, you know, I mean, obviously these aircrafts took wear and tear, so, but, ooh, nice. Okay, I don't know about you, but I am liking this color so far. I just want to sort of start to work this down the spine as we go. I just want to go slow so that I get an overall feel. I know I keep saying that, but you know, we are the model student. None of this is routine. So on this channel, some things we're used to. I mean, we have built a few models now. We've been building models now. We started our channel a little while ago. And you know, so we've built a few. You know, we've got a few under our belt, but by no means are we, you know, to the point where we're like, oh yeah, this is no problem. Like everything is still a process. But I really think that a kit like this is so good at really, like, sort of, I don't know, building your confidence, because you know, if you can take something that's this old and that and get something that you know you're proud of, you know, you could really, and you have to use your skills. You have to take your time. The main one being patience, right? It's not like that sort of shake and bake thing that we were talking about. And I just want to sort of glide this down the sides. And I just want to sort of, because we are going to fade this down into that lighter color as we go. But for now, we just want to keep as much of that modulation as we can. Get around here. And we definitely want to get our canopy. Okay, now our tops of our wings. Let's get us over here so you can see what the heck it is that we're doing. We can actually start to move a bit now. So the nice thing about this is I can move my camera, which is a lot nicer than before when I was sort of stuck. This new setup I've got is really working nice. Let me know what you think in the comments if you've noticed it all. That we are able to sort of get different angles and stuff. Make sure we get a nice gray on this canopy for sure. Okay, just go nice and slow. I'm just gonna get this side. So yeah, I thought this time, instead of adding music and fast forward and stuff, you know, I'd actually just sort of do this real time, and so you can kind of see what it's really like. Yeah, I'm liking this color. This color is starting to come up nice now. Let's get over here for the schnoz. Get the top of this done. I'm going to come on this side too. Just sort of get this nose. Okay. That's our color. That's what we got sort of going on. And you can see here we've got that sort of nice, sort of bluish gray color going on. Uh-oh, I've got a loosened wing. Oh no, what happened? Eek. Get you painted in so I can glue you. Okay, there we go. So we can still see some of that light and dark coming through. And now we'll just carry on with our wings. So let's start. Should we start at the tip and work our way to the center? Okay, let's do that. Let's head our way into the center. Here we go. This is so much fun. I swear, modeling is so much fun. Like I would never have learned how to airbrush or, you know, all these things. You know, like if you're getting older, you know, and don't get bored. It's the worst thing that you can do. Don't get bored, man. You know, I'm no spring chicken. I'm not, you know, ancient by any stretch, but I'm certainly no spring chicken anymore, and this is a relative new, you know, life experience for me. I've only been building models for about, you know, well, I think I picked up my first little kit about 8 years ago, in all honesty, because I didn't build when I was a kid. I tried a couple with my dad, but you know, they weren't really, I didn't spend a lot of time inside. I was an outdoor kid, and that was what I did. And then later on, I was a musician, and that was my hobby, was music. But you need other people generally, and you know, that gets more difficult as you get older, and you know, people have schedules. So we're getting a nice look there. And you know, but for the first few years, I built a few models, but I was still working, you know, pretty regularly, and there was only so much time. And when I was working, like I'd work maybe a full week, maybe once or twice a month, but usually it'd be few days in a row, and that. But by the time I got home from a day of work, I didn't really, you know, have much energy to build anything, and so not a lot got built for, oh, you know, about 3 years probably. And the last couple though, and you can notice, oh, I got a little fluff on there. You can notice by the, you know, by the activity on my channel that I've started to spend a lot more time with it. And now that I'm basically fully retired now. That it's really taken over my time, and it's awesome. I still jam, I still have musical interests, and I still have friends, and I still have a bit of a social life, although it's not, what it used to be. I'm sure nobody's is at my age. But the modeling has given me something to look forward to each day, and what I really like is that I'm learning still. It's good to always be learning, and I think that's what keeps life fresh. So for me, modeling is an expression, it's an artistic endeavor, and it's also an education and all kinds of stuff. And that's a bunch of yammering, eh? But I can't sell this hobby enough. I think it's the greatest hobby in the world, or one of them, anyways. All right, let me see. I guess I'll spin you around this way. Come on now, little lady. All right, and I think if I hold her like this, I can get it this way easily. There we go. Let me get my hose wrangled. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to carry on with that nice light coat and let our undercoat that we laid down do most of the work, right? Now, this is probably like just a easy cheat code way, and that works for us. So, but I think it's given us a nice look. Nice dusting over here. On top of these, just sort of let that blend its way together. I'm not trying to do too much to anything all at once. Just going to slow down the paint a bit here. More air, less paint. Let's and leading edge. Lights are going to go in. Now I don't want to go too much further, because what we're going to do next in between is we're going to get these lenses, and we're just going to fit them in and make sure that we're fitting okay. Because if we have to add any filler, we'll want to do that and then mask them in with the liquid mask to make sure that we're nice and clean around them, because we don't want them to look junky. Oh, getting a little bit of a... Oh, my nozzle's been really good lately. Now it's just starting to... It was running a bit of air through there instead of paint. Just want to keep some of that gray bleeding through, and then the light spots, you can always can't concentrate on those and take those down if you want, bit by bit. Keep that modulation a bit. And this back edge. There we go. Okay, so it looks like I can come in here a bit. Bring that more into the blue. Across in here a bit. Bring this down. A bit more on that edge. There. One more in a bit. Just bring it down here a bit. Same as this side. And I think I'll just ghost this a bit. Okay, now we can bleed that into the lighter color. But there we go. Not bad. I think I can work this getting in the middle here. Just a little bit. Oh, I can see some stuff here. Right edge of that. Right edge of that. Alright, probably get the back edge of it. Just a bit here. Right, just in this middle part. And just in here. Alright. Okay, cool. Now I think what I want to do is I just want to spin you around quick, and I just want to get this back side here. Just get the back side of this tail part. Make sure that we got. There we go. Okay. Let's leave well enough alone. Whoops. Woo. Okay, there she is. Alright, well let's decant this. So we know we've got lots. This is our nice top RLM 75. I do believe that was. And I'm just going to thin this right out. To clean. I'm just going to dump that right in there because it won't hurt it none. And we'll just dump this right in there. Oop. Okay, there we go. Now clean out the airbrush. We'll let this set, and we will come back and we'll mix up the lighter color. Now we've got our RLM 76 here on the other side, and I'm just going to bring it the same on this side. So we're just going to do this inside, outside of the rear fin, tail fin. Let's see, kind of awkward here for me to spray it. Hold on a second. There we go. Let's get in here. Here we go. And the same thing goes. I'm just going with light coats and just, you know, trying to take advantage of as much, you know, modulation and color and stuff as I can. Keep interest and still get the coverage of the color to the point that I want. And I'm just going slow. And so far, it seems to be working. So I'm just going to carry this along the front, like we can see in our research. So what I can do is I can always come back later with the dark. So we've got our underneath color, which we're going to have out again, to do the wheel flaps. And then I just want to bring that up at the bottom and fade it along the bottom up towards the top. So to create the odd hot spot if I can. And I just want to sort of feather that out. And I like it organic so that it's not super masked out. I like it a little bit more that way, unless that's like it's stripes or something that's different. But for this, so now I'm just sort of blending this right up in from the bottom, and letting the bottom get brighter at the side. So just go panel by panel and keeping it light and in the middle. And I think we'll eventually get to where we want to be, but it seems to be coming. We're taking our time, like I said. Let's mix that in along. shoot down at it. Alright, so we want that dark on the top. It's going to come down on this side here a little bit. Bring that out. Bring out the outside edge a bit. There, okay. Now, I think, oops, I'll be able to see what we've got started. So we've got the light color coming up the side, along the front, same on this side. So I think now we can let this sit for a bit and dry, and we can come in with some weathering. But oh, I got a little spot, but we're going to come in with that dark again on the top, so I'll be able to blend that once we know we're like our side. But I think that's coming along pretty good. We got the back part. Right, so now we can start to work in our squiggles, which are going to be the next part, which is going to come down this side, and then we'll rework the top. Right. The wings back into the side, but I think that's teeter-tottering between the two. I think it's going to get us there. It's looking like a shark, eh? Cool. All right, let's let you sit and dry for a minute. For now. Now we're dry. So yeah, we just kept blending that dark in there, and that's what we kind of ended up with. So my squiggling my squiggle skills are, you know, they need some work. The squiggling, I was having some trouble. My airbrush was kind of misty a bit, and I wasn't getting that really super tight line that I usually can get. But I went ahead and I kind of did some squiggles, and then I went back over again because I didn't really like the way it turned out with the dark, and then I just sort of blended it in again with the white. I went back and forth, and I just sort of darkened it a little bit on the top, so you can see like we've got that nice dark color on the top, and there's the look at our side. So yeah, it was kind of a happy mistake, I guess, you know, in that way. Like, but I like it. I think it looks really cool. It definitely looks German to me. And I couldn't help myself. I had to, you know, push on. And I went ahead and I picked a little bit of the glass. And it looks like so far it's coming up good. So we'll get the rest of that picked off. And I took a shot with one of the decals. And let me tell you, these are so thin. These decals, they're so thin, and they're milky. Like when they come off, they're a bit milky, but it doesn't seem to be showing through too much. Right here, I have like a fold over. It rolled over right there, and it's giving me that line. And I'm gonna let the decal dry and set, and I'm hoping I can just sort of cut that off. I tried 5 or 6 times. I unfolded it and rolled it up, but it wants to wrinkle and it doesn't want to slide. The decal didn't want to slide at all. So I think next over to this side, because I need to slide it around to line it up, I'm going to try some soap, some dish soap and water in this, just to give me some, hopefully some slip and slide, and a little soap and water in the, soap in the water that I'm going to soak the decal in. But it laid down and it didn't rip, so I'm going to really try to use the original decals. I do have the model shows coming up on Sunday, so decals are on my list for a bunch of kits that I have. But I'd like to use the ones that came with it. So, but I think they look really good. I mean, so far, it's looking cool. So I'm really excited to get the rest of this picked off and get to the, the rest. But you can see that once we got the clear coat on there, that really brought that into the dark realm of Night Fighter, I think. And then we've got the underneath here. It's dry, so I can pick it up. And we've got our underneath there, and we can see that that came into a really nice color too. And they're not the same, they're different. But yeah, I like it. So we'll be able to start working on it now. I'd like to, sort of, now that we got the paint on, we've got our colors set, I think I want to get these main decals on so that they can set, and I can set that aside, and then we can get to work on the props and the the spinners, the props. We've got the exhausts that come out. We've got to put these manifolds back on. We've got the covers that go on, the 3 sides, and we have some stuff that goes back together. We have our lenses to fit in here. I want to get this fit in and make sure that they fit in nice and tight before we seal off everything, because if I have to do some touch-ups, I'll do them now, because I can touch up the paint pretty easily. I've already got it painted inside, so we should be pretty good. What else is there? That's about it, though. We're down to the last few things now, but I really like the color that we got. I think I think it's working. It's not exactly, what we were, looking for here with our, with our thing there. But it's close. I think it's pretty close. And I'm really happy with it. I am so enjoying this build. I know I keep saying it, but I really am. And I really like the way it's starting to turn out now. I'm really, really excited. I think it looks really sharp with the, let me get in here, with the Spitfire together. I think they complement each other really nice. We definitely have a German look, and we definitely have an English look going on here, I think. So I am really excited for the next phase. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll get all this tedious stuff done. We'll pick these off. We'll come back next time, and we can get into doing the exhausts, and then we can get into the fun stuff with the weathering, the streaking, and the exhaust streaking, and the oil and fuel and stuff coming out the bottom. And we'll get the tires on, and we'll get this. I think the last thing we have to decide is really what we're going to do. Are we going to put this in the air? Because the cockpit is a kind of a rough fit. So I think what we'll do is, once we get it all picked off, we get it apart, then we'll see about how well we can get this arranged in the sealed in position. Or maybe we'll just have this maybe posed on the ground with the Spitfire flying overhead. I don't know yet, so we still got some decisions to do, but overall, I think she's looking pretty good. I'm really proud of her so far. So let me know in the comments what you think, and there's a look at our Messerschmitt 110 BF110G, and I'm really digging her so far. So that's it for me, the model student, and until next time, live, love, laugh, plan something for the future, and until then, bye!